Interesting sidebar about my daughter working today. She had to actually do a presentation on an animal, as it is a animal sanctuary she works at. Today's subject, the long-tailed weasel. Approach past the creepy horse. We made it. Here's the deal. This is our field as you've seen it, and there's our ill-gotten gains. The trick is where do we put them? Well, some of the stuff comes preset with boards and whatnot. Some of it is just shambles. I think we look at what's the most European and we make that part of our Russia setup. Good gravy. Well, they got the roof. And true insanity. How about I start with the smallest one? Time to set up. Normally, hi.
Good morning.
If you're clever, you wait just long enough and the hardworking people show up and do all the lifting for you, but you know, you can't always do that.
Can't always be clever.
Into our den of iniquity. First things up, pop-ups.
Oh, you got that one? All right.
It is. It's the Ghost Tiger. That literally came from spare parts littered across our
I was
field.
about to say, is that the scrap one?
Yeah.
And it's running.
Yeah, and literally the dead carcass of what I used to pull out of it's right next to it.
Ooh, you got it built.
Not remote, just standard.
No, I understand. We did. If Dave Jones ever shows up, he'll show you his. He took the 21st Century Toys one and he cut it down, and he managed to squeeze a little toy electronics in it, and he put a little turret on it with a 20 mil. So,
It's in my pile of shame.
yes,
I got it built.
but we have a lot of shame, so that's not exactly a.
And mine
defining
is both
characteristic.
tanks and ships.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're back with the DAK Labs and the mad scientist here. We have, what is this?
This would be a T-18M, or also if you played World of Tanks, an MS-1. This thing's been, I made this from scratch in Tinkercad. Right now, it doesn't have a full battle system. It's just got the cyber bricks running in it with a couple of, I forgot what the term was, high turn 160 motor, well no, 130 motors. But it's using a belt drive for the turret rotation, and then the turret, I'm using magnetic connectors here too. Purposely have one set pointing up, one down, so I don't flip them. One would be for my Apple, one would be for the gun stuff, and then I'd run wires up the middle for the emitter.
On the inside, you talked about a clutching system.
Yeah, it's a little hard to see in this one, but I've got, actually I might be easier to show inside the weasels. Experiment into
this
weasel.
is the new version of the weasel you're working
But there's this little clutch system that's like a servo saver. So I can use an N20 for making the gun go up and down in case I'm using something that doesn't have servo support for turret controls. And I had to figure out how to make a linkage so I could make this gun actually go up and down a bit. And this little guy here is actually a very tiny linear servo for the recoil.
Oh wow, that's recoil as well?
Mm-hmm.
Inside that tiny little, nice. Now I'm interested because most people when they did something this tight, they'd use a worm gear.
I thought about that, but then I was like, well, these little N20 hobby motors are coming out all over the place in different RPMs. So I'm just using a 120 RPM N20, which is about as fast as what the little micro 360-degree servos are. I mean, if I want to just have this as a little play display, I can just put the normal bellhop on it and not the one and the other one, and then just put my battery in here. Here's a squeeze for sure. And this is actually a little speaker box, but I burned the speaker up missing with that.
Basically put little magnets on everything, so the whole thing comes apart.
Yeah, I don't have them in here yet, but this thing actually holds on.
Oh,
well.
that just finds its own connector.
And then
Oh, all right. Next gen here. All right.
the only problem with the Cyberbricks is I cannot limit the speed. And even with the extra gearing, it goes really fast. So hopefully I don't make the tracks explode off it too fast.
All right. Well, this is next gen. This is very high level. I see you put a little bit of paint on this guy.
Yeah, I finally painted that other one. I went away with the suspension on this one. That's why I was able to basically just romp all over the place without throwing treads.
Got it. Sort of a compromise between the two designs. But that looks
Mine
cool.
full suspension, but it's not fun when you throw tracks. I'd rather do donuts.
Yeah, well, welcome to the #1 problem we had, especially with the loose oil or light rocks. It just throws tracks. Well, you are well on your way to further genius, so
That's the plan.
let's see how they fight.
Yep.
I would say right in here.
Right here?
Yep.
Where's the better looking side?
I would say that
Yeah, that's good.
works. Alrighty, look at that. That's crazy. Big change. Wow, we actually have 6-on-6 going. First time in a while. This is the first run of the Churchill.
Yeah, maiden voyage.
Full speed. Don't spare either of the sails. All right, this is a lineup I can get behind. Sherman, 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 Sherman. Just like the real war. Pull out something to get started with. In this case, I'll use the really produced Firefly. Panther 4. Well, you got the time machine, but also I was looking it up. Remember that we'll have to rebuild some of the Hill Valley clock thing because the real one only had 4 columns.
If we want to turn it into that, so interesting thing. So if you want to have a side tangent here, so you may recall we were picking up the buildings. I had a side tangent that, gosh, these buildings look familiar. Like I've seen them somewhere. I figured it out. I was online doing a Google AI image match to some of the buildings. The guy took a lot of those, was it Liberty Square or whatever, Christmas buildings from the 90s, the little ceramic things?
Yeah, and he blew them up.
And he blew them up to like 16th, 15th scale.
Well,
Most of them were inspired or copies of those buildings.
Okay, well that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
What
why
I
they
was-
look familiar.
But the beauty of it is this one, if we put it back in its right state,
and we put the triangle pivot back on the top, and 4 columns.
We could do
That's the Hill Valley
we
one.
could do, yeah.
And then we
That's
take
fair.
and then we take this and turn it into a gate, like a right, you know, the what do you call it? The one in Berlin, Brandenburg Gate,
Which part?
Brandenburg Gate, whatever. No, this is the top. Remember, this is the columns with the
Isn't that
roof.
The Brandenburg Gate.
If remember, we put this. It's a separate piece off to the side,
Okay.
and it actually worked out to look like the Brandenburg Gate.
Interesting. Now that thing right there, that is one of the mansions in that Liberty Square set I was talking about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's like 5 or 6 buildings that are either identical, upscaled, or very heavily inspired by. Start at like 8:30, and then we'll come at 1 o'clock.
I am working, I promise. Yep, that'll work. Is that one? Yeah, doesn't have any spigots, so we're okay. And one of the first things we like to do is the reveals of all the new stuff. And today we actually have a bunch of new tanks on the field. So Kenny has a new prize, and here's the trivia question that goes along with it. Who is the person most credited with the invention of the tank?
I'm not gonna answer. That's for you guys.
Well, unfortunately, we're giving it away because they named one after him. We have a Churchill. This is a brand new Churchill from Tongday. Or is it Cool Bank?
Tongday. It came out a couple years ago.
This tank is one of the tanks that we've wanted for a long time because it's cool. I mean, if anybody understands the idea of the infantry tank versus the cruiser tank, this is an infantry tank.
But it's also a heavy tank, ironically.
It's also a heavy tank. It goes real slow, it supports the troops, and it's got a suspension that goes over just about anything in trench warfare.
Yep.
So the idea was the troops go along and they have a really big gun helping them out. So this tank is the later Mark. This is the Mark 7. It has the 75 quick firing gun on it, and it was actually a little wider. So it had a revised turret. It still had some of the interesting gaps. Unfortunately, these things were shot traps. And because they were dark, in contrast to the rest of the vehicle, they often ended up as an aim point for the Germans. Anyway, this is a really fun tank, and we're going to see it on the field. All right, Kenny has basically put a Clark Firefly board in here because it's close enough for British.
But I'm gonna make a custom sound pack with the B12 in it.
Yeah, we're gonna have the custom sound pack pretty soon, and if you're interested, let us know. Kenny has finally completed one of his shelf queens. This is a Toro Storm Tiger. What do you got in there?
This is running a Clark board with the Storm Tiger sound pack. So when it fires the mortar, you actually hear the distinct rocket sound when it fires, rather than your normal.
So when you want to take out an entire city block, call the Storm Tiger.
When I don't want to battle, I can just put the hatchback on.
Yep.
This will be fun, and it's made in Voyage too.
All right, we'll see what we can do with these. not to show off, but the 901 is here for its major field test. It's almost running. This is the Firefly I just did. You saw the video of the first. Here's a new one that I also pulled off the shelf after 10 years. This is an In the Mood. Yeah, so this is actually the original Motto plastic cast hull tank with its original gearbox and everything. We're going to see if it runs with a Tigan turret. And it's got a Clark 22 in there. We'll see if that runs. These are all spare parts off my shelf. And you've seen the Panther 4, 5, 4, and my old 51. There's more in the car. We'll get there later. All right, what do we got here?
So recently, last time since I've been here, I have had 2 King Tigers. Well, as I was leaving this place, I decided to pick up another project, the Ghost Tiger from the club. It is done. It is running. So it'll be on the battlefield today.
Does it fight?
Yes.
That's the key question. It's always the number one question. Does it fight?
Yep. All my tanks fight.
There you go.
Except for the half track.
Now, we got a little fun project.
Now this is the DAS Work 1/16 scale SP KFC 250/1.
Sounds right.
Right now, this kit is just a standard static display kit. It does roll. I do have plans to 3D print one in the future, but as of right now, this is going to be a field vehicle once we figure out how the field's going to actually be.
Well, we did that a lot. We started with static stuff and we eventually cobbled it together. We just think it's funny that you did actually manage to pull what we consider to be our smokers. That's our code name for the field props. We used to put little smoke bombs in them and make them actually smoke. But this guy, you literally took 3 or 4 parts off of tanks that were buried in the ground and made them run.
And the guts out of a 2A6, but hey.
Oh, there we go. Now the irony is people complain that a lot of the sounds in these tanks are all the same. So in this case, you win. But this does sound like a leopard a little bit. It runs, it moves.
Very rare and weirdly enough, it's a turbine-powered Tiger.
That's hilarious. It fights. Kenny, you dead? Are you dead, Kenny, or are you still, how many you got? Is that tank taking hits?
Yeah, my tank just took a hit from you.
Okay, good. I can't see anything.
Are you doing as usual on those sides of the last
Oh, I see it wiggle.
hits do you take? Good. Now finally, because look, I'm down to one hit. I shot you.
I can hit you.
I shot.
Never mind.
It's all right. I'm just saying, those apples are just tough outside. That's all.
Yeah.
Look how slow I am.
I'll have mercy on you.
Look how slow.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Who knew this would be the kill spot? Seriously, the bridge and the little building there are keeping me safe. Who did I get? I think I got one left. That's as fast as I can go. I dare you to get me. There he goes. He's dead. I found a sweet spot. The bridge in that building blocked me. All right. Amy just gave me a hair tie, and I'm holding the phone on the radio with a hair tie. Look at that. Genius. All right, these new buildings, you have to admit, these new buildings make it really cool. Too many buildings.
Is there such a thing?
Too many buildings. All right. So as you see, we have a wide variety of stuff out here. This is a pretty much stock HL Sherman. We got is that an HL Tiger? Do you have a Clark in there or a regular 7.1?
No. Regular handle board.
And obviously the bane of my existence is this Yag Panther.
You're a lion. Yes! Yeah, I'm just making sure you guys are dead before I do my move. I'm alive.
That makes it definitely more difficult.
Who's alive? Then we won. I was on the north side. Then we won. Right, then we won. I was. We're on the same team. That means we won. We won. It's over.
Okay, we're headed home. Great battle day. We had nearly 15, 16, 17 people there. We had 7 on 7, 8 on 8. We had a lot of new vehicles. We laid out the first rough idea of our new battlefield with the new buildings from the hall. And we have also established we're going to come back again March 1st. Several new vehicles. We tested out a Churchill. We tested out my old Motto Sherman. My ATV had some issues, mostly my fault. Mostly structural with the launcher. I'm gonna come up with a better solution. It did fight. It did make a few hits. The next step is to finish up that tank, get the paint job on it, and basically decide my wiring and the flash, and then move on to some of the other vehicles. Anyway, good day. Glad I got to come out, and hopefully our lessons in stowage, as you see the stuff's back, and managed to get a couple of vehicles on the field. Had no real problems other than my prototype stuff. Believe it or not, that old Motto Sherman really handled the field pretty well. Kenny worked with me on the Clark stuff, so that the board was swapped out for a TK40, the radial engine noise, and we got all the parts to fight. I'll work on a recoil later. But good day, and I'll see you on the flip side.